learn. So I'm going to introduce our webinar leader presenter, Miss Odetta King. And from the flyer, Odetta King is a financial guru. She is an adjunct professor, and she is the author of a book on how to stack your coins and the reason you're broke. So I'd like to introduce Miss Odetta King, who will be presenting this afternoon. Hi, Odetta.
Hi, Brandy. So good to see you. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Wow. Guys, we have about 13 of us on, and I'm going to challenge you guys to each one of us, let's get one more person on the Zoom call so that they too can get this information and truly know how to build wealth. Because from what I've seen in the last 6 years, a lot of us may know how to make the money, but boy, they never taught us the other part, which is how to keep it, grow it, and stack it. And this is what we're going to talk about today, how to build wealth. Let's have a conversation about how to build wealth. Now, there's several reasons or several ways how someone can build wealth, but we're going to show you guys a simple way that every one of us on this call today can build wealth, right? Uninterrupted compound growth, no highs, no lows, no need to worry about what the stock market is doing, no need to worry what the government is doing. Everybody can build wealth this way, right? So I'm going to challenge you, like I said, try to get one more person. If you had to text someone, call someone, get one more person on so they can learn this information for themselves as well. We're not going to be selfish here, right? We don't be selfish. We get paid to share, and we definitely want to make sure that we're sharing this information with everyone. Awesome. Let me do this and mute this. Okay, so why are we here today? Because number one, I can tell you firsthand as a faculty, graduated from NYU, never, ever, ever took a personal finance class. They taught me how to go make the money, but they never taught me how to keep and grow that money, right? They tell us, go get a good job and you're gonna be good. Well, there's a lot more to just going and get a good job that's going to pay you well. And so we see that there's a big need. Firsthand, I can say we know the education system has failed us because they're not teaching personal finance. And if you don't come from a family with money who's talking about these things, most people will never ever understand or even know what to do if they are making good money at a job. So there is a big need. And because there's a need, there's also an opportunity for many of us, right, who wants to also share this opportunity with people. So as Brandy said, my name is Odetta King. I am a senior marketing director. I've been with the company. August will be 6 years. Love, 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 love it. Would not do anything else for the rest of my life, for the rest of my career. I'm committed and dedicated to teaching people about money, how money works, and how to grow and protect our money, right? So let's talk about some problems, because there are challenges, right? And those challenges are what all of us on this Zoom today are experiencing. 12.4 billion in excess fees are being paid to the banks. This is people like you and I, right, that have written checks and the checks bounce. So we're paying for things that we don't even have. We're writing checks, and because the bank account was already in a deficit, now we still got to pay check because that fee or that check has been bounced. 12.4 billion just in overdraft fees. And this is as of last year. The year just started. We're in 2023. So let me ask you guys, do you think it went up or it went down? The year just started. Do you think that fee, that excess fee that was paid to the banks, do you think it has increased or decreased since the year started? You could put it in the chat, right? What do you guys think? It went up or down? Well, I'm pretty sure it went up, right? Not a thing. There's help for the wealthy. For most people to get this kind of information that we're going to share with you today, if you don't have $250,000 and above, we're not going to have access to this information. That's just how the cookie crumbled. This is why the rich are getting richer, right? JP Morgan, as much as we all know and love Chase, right? Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch, Fidelity, these are all big financial companies. They're not going to sit with the average Joe Schmo who has $1,000 in the bank. The information that you're going to get for $1,000 in the bank versus someone that's going to have $250,000 in the bank, they're going to get two different sets of information, people. They're not getting the same information. Somebody walking to the bank with $1,000 is going to get different information than someone who has $250,000. And so we know that there's help for the wealthy. But what about that person that can only save $250, $500, $1,000, even $100, right? What information do we have to help us grow that $100? Now, 63% of us have no emergency fund. I see this every day when I sit with clients. 63% of us have no emergency fund, coupling $500. So if an emergency were to happen right now, how many of us can put our hand comfortably without breaking the bank, without sweating, $500? God forbid if someone passed away today, can we put our hands on 5,000, 10,000? No, we cannot. And we've seen this with GoFundMe. If you Google the word GoFundMe, it's associated with funeral more than any other words. So that tells us, right? And then there's also lack of advisors. So this is where the opportunity is for us, because the average age of the financial advisor is 55 years old. They're on their way out. Mentally, they're already checked out. It's retirement mode for them, right? So they're not going to go as hard as you and I that are now coming into the industry, that are now hungry to learn, that are now hungry to help people. A 55-year-old is already mentally checked out. They're done, right? They're ready to retire. They're ready to chill. And that's an opportunity for you and I. And then 74% of people said they want to work with purpose. They want to go to a job that they love, that they feel truly matters. Most people are not going to a job because they love and truly matters. They're going because they got to pay the bill, right? They may not like their boss. They may not like what's going on in the workplace, but they got to go because they need that check, right? Very few people can say they actually truly love what they're doing and they wake up with a joy and passion to go do what they're doing. So, when was the last time any financial institution approached you and I and said, let's educate you on the difference between compound interest and simple interest? Most people don't even know the difference. They might be saving money and they think they're doing good. But if you're getting simple interest, you're not doing good, right? But guess what? Most people would never know the difference. But this is what we do. Not only are we going to show you where you can get simple versus compound, but now you're going to understand how knowing something simple as that can change your financial trajectory. When is the last time you were educated on how to grow your money with 100% principal guarantee? Nobody knows this stuff. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, because the 1% they do know, right? So most people, they're going to put their money in the stock market because they know they can grow it. And then they're going to put some in the bank because they know they're not going to lose it. It's safe. But what if I tell you there's one place that you can put your money where it's growing and it's also 100% principal guarantee? Most people would say, I don't even know that that's possible. Well, this is what we do, right? Or do you understand how insurance can become the best source for tax advantage retirement income? Most people have 401k, 403b IRA, but they never told them what's going to happen to the taxes, right? Insurance is one of the best place for tax advantage. And again, they'll tell you, I didn't know you could do that. This is what we do. So all three of those questions that I just posed to you, ask yourself, did you know that? Here's another question. When is the last time you were educated on financial concepts like Rule of 72? And maybe some of us, we've heard that rule, but how does it correlate to our money? Do you know tax now, tax later, tax advantage? I didn't. I didn't even understand anything about taxes. All I know, I make money and I pay tax, right? Or fixed, variable, and index. What? Fixed, variable, and index? I have never even heard of those concepts. Dollar cost averaging, average versus actual? No way. Dime method, X curve? Like, what is this? Most people would never, ever learn about these concepts that are so pivotal to building wealth. So let's talk about the 3 rules to money. And if nothing else, if you walk away with understanding just these 3 rules, you're going to be in a better position when it comes to your personal finance. Rule number 1 talks about one of my favorite uncle, Albert Einstein. He created this rule that said, in order for us to know how many years it's going to take your money to double, divide it by 72. And that's the magic of compound interest. It's a simple formula, but yes, still people don't know it. So let's apply it to money. Let's say you have $10,000 today, right? And you're getting a whopping 4%. And you're like, Odetta, I'm doing great because I'm getting 4%. Well, that's good, right? But now let's apply the rule of 72. 72 divided by 4%, your money's going to take 18 years to double. Okay. So 18 years from now, you got 20,000. And now that 18 years roll around, you got 40,000. So in 36 years, you have 40,000. Guys, I don't think it's going to take any of us any hard calculation to understand what is 40,000 going to do with inflation in 36 years. Cost of living is going up faster than we can keep up. What used to cost $1 for a loaf of bread, how much is a loaf of bread right now? It's not $1, right? Gas went up, rice, flour, sugar went up, your rent went up, everything went up. So 40,000 in 36 years, that's not going to get you far. Now, what if we double the percentage? And we said, now let's look at 8%. So someone is getting 8%, same 10,000. Now the money is going to double in half the amount of time as the 4% in 9 years. So in 9 years, your 10,000 doubles to 20 versus the person that was getting 4%. It took him 18 years. So both people started around the same time with 10,000. But ironically, the person with 4%, his money only grew to 40. The person with 8%, his money not only double, but it quadruple. 160,000. Now, what if you're getting 12%? It's going to take now a shorter time to double, only 6 years. So 10,000 today, 6 years it doubles to 20. I like that. Don't you guys like that? Don't you like your money doubling in 6 years versus 18 years? And now in the same 36 years time span, the person with 12% walks away with a whopping 640,000. Guys, just learning this rule alone is going to change your life if you apply it. If you sat with one of us and you know where to get 12%. So let's say you have a newborn today, 1 year old. Shout out to Usha. Her grandbaby boy just born. And we already got something for him, right? So at 1 year old, we started saving $10,000 for a 1 year old. 1 year old, right? When you have babies, people give you money for their birthdays, for christening, for shower. Oh, they're so cute. They're adorable. People give you money for them. And you said, you know what? I'm not going to put this money in I'm GT, Guyanese, right? Or West Indies. I'm not going to put this money in no goddamn susu. I'm not going to put this money under my mattress. I'm going to put this money in this place that Odetta told me to put it. And now when my child is 36 years old, he has $640,000 because they know where to put the money. And that money is growing, compound, uninterrupted, right? So how many of you would have loved to have 640,000? Because I know most people on this call are way over 36 years old. Had our parents started this for us, or forget our parents, we're not going to blame our parents because they didn't know any better. But let's say we had started this for ourselves, even 15 years ago, 20 years ago, how much more money would we all have today? Today, how much more would we have? Right? If you started with 12%, 640,000. So I'm going to dispel a notion right now. You got to unlearn some things that you learn, people. We got to unlearn something. It's not just about saving money. It's not just about saving money. Building wealth is not about saving money. Building wealth is not about saving money. Building wealth is about quadrupling and doubling and tripling your money, investing your money, putting your money where you're going to get compound interest, not simple interest. So it's not just about saving. When you put your money in the puzzling tin or in that susu lady hand or the box that you have under in your house, that's not going to build wealth. Because you're not getting compound interest. Goddamn, you're not even getting any interest when you do that. And I'm Guyanese, and I hear a lot of my Guyanese people tell me, well, Odetta, I do a susu, which is big in the West Indian community. They're not going to build wealth with that susu money. Because number one, there's no interest on that money, let alone compounding, right? So knowledge is not power unless applied. This is why I'm going to tell you, after today, get in touch with the person who invited you on this webinar, because you can know it, but doing it is a different thing. If you want to build wealth, you got to know it and you got to do it. Let's talk about the second rule of money. We live in a good old America where there's lots of opportunities. But guess what? This is a government that you have to also pay taxes. And the rich know this all too very well, and they play the tax game well, because every one of us have access to this information. Who knows it are going to win. Second rule to money is taxes. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You got to start learning now, how is my money going to get taxed? So again, I'm going to come back to the folks that got their 401k, 403b, IRA, all traditional stuff that everybody's familiar with. How is it going to get taxed, right? My second favorite uncle, Franklin Benjamin. He said, nothing in life is certain except for debt and taxes. If we know we're going to die, why not put things in place? Everybody's going to die. We cannot escape debt. Why aren't we going to just put things in place? Because it's inevitable. And secondly, if we know we got to pay taxes, why not learn the ways to pay the least amount of tax legally? And let's look at where that is. Tax Now bracket is your checking, savings, CD, stocks, mutual. Everybody has those. And because everybody has those, everybody's paying the most tax. And they think it's okay because everybody's doing it. So another notion I'm going to have you start dispelling. Don't follow the herd. Do not follow the herd. Not because everybody's going right, you're going to go right because everybody's going right. No, they're all wrong. That's not the best. Checking, SAIDI, savings, stocks, mutual, everybody has those. And that's okay. But we're also paying the most tax. You see the triangle is getting bigger? The more money you make, the more tax you pay. It is what it is, right? Tax later, these are all your retirement that the jobs are giving us, right? And the government is smart. The government made a nice deal with these corporations and they say, hey, get everybody to sign up for these stuff. We're going to even throw in some pro bonos with you. We're going to give you guys some tax write-off. Get everybody in the company to sign up for these suckers. Sign up for these 401ks, sign up for these 403. Just get everybody to sign up for it. And so we did, because everybody again is doing it. But guess what? The government is smart. Guess who's going to tax this money? Not now, while the money is little. Guess who's going to tax this money later when the money is bigger? Uncle Sam doesn't want your little 200-300 today. Uncle Sam wants your 500,000, 300,000, 200,000 when the money has grown. So they get us in. So we save in these accounts. And later on, when we're ready to retire, when we're most vulnerable and we're ready to retire, that's when they get us on the taxes later. So the taxes later pretty much says, whatever the big pile of money is at that time, I don't even have a say how much I got to give Uncle Sam. You don't have a say how much you got to give Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam decides what he wants to take, what the taxes are going to be like when that time comes around. So let me give you another analogy. You are a farmer. Do you want to pay tax on the seed, which is little, or do you want to pay tax on the harvest? When the mango tree has grown, it's blossomed, and it has tons of mango even falling to the ground. Well, I think everybody would agree you want to pay tax on the seed because it's little. If you have to pay tax on the harvest, every mango that tree bears, that's going to be a lot of taxes. So tax later, you don't pay tax today, you're going to pay it later. And later, it's going to be greater. More taxes. Third bucket is tax advantage. This is your Roth IRA, your 529 college saving, executive bonus, long-term care, cash value life insurance. These, my friend, are where everybody should be, but they're not because they're not educated how this works. You see, when you put your money in a tax advantage bracket, in the beginning, you're going to pay tax. But that's okay, because we got to pay tax. You pay the tax in the beginning while your money is little. Your little 200, 300, 500, 1,000, whatever. It's little. Because now when it grows bigger, later, when it has blossomed into 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, or whatever, no tax. No tax, right? This is where we want to be. So it's not just about growing the money, but then you also got to watch out taxes because we live in America where we have to pay tax. But knowing where to put the money to keep most of it is tricky. They didn't teach us this. Not even your HR is going to tell you this because HR doesn't know herself. It's not her place to know. She's not a financial professional. Her job is just to get everybody to sign up for a 401k. That's her job. So now ask yourself the question, where do you have your money? Do you have it in a tax now, tax later, or tax advantage? Third rule is investment. Because again, we got to invest, guys. Building wealth is about investing money with compound growth. If you put your money in a fixed account, like the bank, you're going to get a fixed rate, a fixed interest. So your money is safe, but it's not going to grow. It is what it is. There's no growth on your money except for what you put in because the interest is very little or next to none. Now you say, Odetta, I got my money in the stock market. I'm growing it. Okay, that's good. I like that you're growing it, but is it safe? Do you know how much you're going to have when you're 65? Do you know how much you're going to have when you're 60? No, you cannot. Because the stock market is variable. It goes up and it comes down. So you're not in control of your future that way. Because you could have $1 million today, and 5 years from now, when you're ready to retire, how much are you going to have? There's no safety here. The third investment option are your index. An index, you can only get this with life insurance companies. Yes, I said it. Life insurance companies. You see, life insurance companies over the years have studied the market. They've seen people lost their entire life savings in 2001, 2008, and recently in 2020 with COVID. So they saw the opportunity and they created a product where your money is safe and your money is growing. Your money is safe and your money is growing. Uninterrupted compound interest, right? And that's the index. So now that you know the 3 investment options, you know which one your money is, but where should it be now? How would you like your money to grow? Because I'm telling you, it's not just about having a lot of money today. It's not about being rich today. I know plenty of people that were rich at one point, and today they're broke. Today they're broke, right? So it's about growing the money and keeping the money, not just growing it and then you broke. So let's put these 3 rules into practice. Rule number 1, compound interest. You got to get your money to compound. Rule number 2, you got to watch your taxes, because it's not about where you're saving the money if you're going to pay a whole bunch of tax and you don't know how much. And rule number 3 is about investing the money where it's going to grow and it's safe. One vehicle we're going to talk about today that's going to help you build wealth. Index Universal Life. Many of us call it short IUL. Index Universal Life. Transamerica is one of the leading companies, which happen to be our parent company. They've been around for 100 years. I actually had my 401k when I was working in corporate America with Transamerica, right? So Transamerica has the Index Universal Life that gives you a cap of 13%. So we know for sure our money is going to double at least in 6 years. Because the rule of 72 says if you have 12% divided by 72, your money takes 6 years. Do the same for 13%. So we know we're going to get the growth. Safety, there's a safety floor of 0.075, which means when everybody else is losing money, we're still going to make money. How amazing is that? When everybody else is losing money, we're still going to make money. Now, I always heard that concept. When everybody else is making money, somebody else is losing. And when everybody else is losing, somebody else is making money. But I didn't know where to get that. Today, this is what I teach families. Where to put your money. So when everybody else is losing money, you, my friend, is still making money, because the IUL has a floor guarantee. Your money is safe. You will never, ever lose a penny, and guarantee when everybody else is losing, you're still going to make money, 0.75, which, by the way, most banks are not even giving you 0.75. They're giving you 0.0 something. And then on top of it, life insurance is a tax-free vehicle, which says you can touch your money at any time and it's going to be tax-free. You cannot do that with a 401k, 403b, or IRA, right? This is a tax advantage account. We love tax-free. Tax-free money means more money. Let that sit with you again. Tax-free money means more money. If you go to the dollar store and you got to pay tax on that dollar, it's $1.09. But if the guy said, you know what, don't worry with the tax, just give me the dollar, you just save some money. You just save 9 cents. It's more money. Tax-free money means it's more money. And then the fourth box is protection. Well, people tell me, well, Odetta, why do I need this? I don't care about the protection part. Yes, you do. You do want the protection part as well. Protection on your life if you pass away prematurely or whenever we pass away. Protection on your health, because statistics show the #1 reason people go bankrupt in America is due to medical bills. Cancer, heart attack, stroke will wipe out our entire life savings in under 3 years. We got to put things in place for that. And protection on your money, that nobody can sue you, that nobody can take your money. So there is need also for proper protection. If you do not have an Index Universal Life, I'm not going to say shame on you because most people don't. This is why this is a big opportunity for us, because we could share this information with everybody that we know, right? Your money is growing, your money is safe, it's tax-free. Tax-free means more money, and you're protecting your life, your health, and your money. This is a complete financial package. So for the folks who like to say, well, Odetta, I'm not so sure, is this for real? I'm going to bring the proof now. Forbes magazine. We don't know Forbes. We don't own Forbes. We have nothing to do with Forbes magazine, but it's a credible source that everybody knows. They had an article back in October 3rd, 2022, just a couple months ago last year. Why Index Universal Life might be the new 401k. The fact that they're even saying it might be, it got their attention. The IUL got their attention, right? And this is what they said. You can Google the whole article and read it for yourself. A 401k is a tax code given by the IRS to tax you on the harvest. But now that you guys now understand taxes, why would you want to be taxed on the harvest? Why would you want to be taxed on the mango tree that has all this plentiful abundance of mangoes? Right? No, you don't want to be taxed on the harvest because now you know better, right? The 401k model was actually implemented in 1980s during the Reagan era. Big corporations have a tax shelter. So this was for the big guys who were making a lot of money and they wanted to shelter that taxes by matching employees' 401k. So you see how they passed the buck to the guys, the little guys? The big guys didn't want to pay all these taxes. So they said, let's create a 401k and pass the buck to them. So Wall Street found that it was easy to convince the middle class to put all their money in a 401k. The government will make a whole lot of money through taxes, and Wall Street will make a whole lot of money through charging fees, because there are fees attached to our 401ks or 413 or 403bs or IRAs. So everybody else is making money except you and I. Because when we put it in the 401k, the government is going to tax that harvest money. We put it in the 401k, Wall Street is managing that money. So they got to get their fees, whether we make money or lose money. So it's good for them, but is it good for you? Right? Here's another book, and this is where I'm going to have one of my team members drop the link. Knowledge is power, but you also have to apply. So this is for the folks who love to say, well, I'm not sure. Well, I'm a professor and I like reading stuff, right? So I like to share credible source that has nothing to do with our organization, right? So I challenge you guys to get this book for yourself. Read this book, right? I have my copy here. Money, Wealth, Life Insurance, how the wealthy follow the money people. The wealthy people are doing this. If the wealthy people who already got money are doing this, what about you and I, right? I don't know about you, but I want to hang with all the multimillionaires because whatever they're doing, I want to do too. So if the wealthy people are using this as a tax-free personal bank to supercharge their savings, they're not caught up with, oh my God, it's a life insurance. No, they're not. They're using it as a tax-free haven. These are some banks that are in this book. Get this book and read it for yourself. It's the best thing you'll ever do for yourself. Bank America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, US Bank. Look how much millions and trillions of dollars, billions of dollars that these corporations, these banks that you and I are putting our money in, they're turning around and taking some of that money and put it in their tier one assets. The bank tier one asset is in life insurance. What is your tier one asset? What is your tier one asset? If our tier one asset is putting it in the bank, and the bank is putting their tier one asset in insurance companies, well, what does that say? Right? It is not insignificant that banks place billions of dollars in life insurance. It's a reflection of the value they place on powerful assets. You see, the banks are not thinking, oh my God, it's a life insurance, like this is for burial. No. So when people say, well, that life insurance is for burial, I'm like, no. Life insurance is not only for burial. For banks, it provides the ultimate in safety, stability, and growth. The money is safe, the money is growing, uninterrupted, compound interest. More importantly, the FDIC, which most of us know, allows assets to be classified as tier one capital, which is the safest capital a bank can have. So if the banker put in their tier one in life insurance, why are we not? Well, either way, whether we want to agree or not, your money's already in life insurance because the bank is taking your deposit and go and invest in it in life insurance, tier one assets, right? But not only banks are doing this, companies are also doing this. This is why you want to get this book, right? GE, Procter & Gamble, AT&T, Nestle, Prudential Insurance, General Motors, Heinz, y'all love to catch up. Johnson & Johnson, you got their baby oil, right? Pfizer, we taking their drugs. Home Depot, Office Depot, Starbucks, they all got money in life insurance. Nike, Bed Bath & Beyond. It's crazy. Walt Disney, CVS Pharmacy, Verizon, your cell phone, they all got money in life insurance. You think they're thinking about burial? No. So our biggest strength is to educate North American family one at a time. What we just showed you is one way everybody can build wealth in America. Everybody can build wealth in America. This is not only for the rich, this is for everybody, right? Now, for some of us who said, Odetta, this sounds great. How do I get involved with this movement? How do I also teach this to my community? Because most people don't know this information. I didn't, right? So for the folks who said, you know what, I also not only want to learn this, get stuff for myself, but I want to teach it with my community. I'm part of a congregation. We have a church. I'm part of my job committee, whatever you have, you know, you're somebody that is very popular. You know, a lot of people, you have a lot of friends, you got a big family, help them. And when you help them, you're helping yourself. Because at the end of the day, make no mistake, we help people to save and grow their money with those 4 things, 4 cornerstones. So when you help a client save $250 a month, which is average $250, and again, they're not having to find new money. They're just repositioning and putting the money now in a different bucket. $250 a month. As a trainee associate, which is the entry level, you can make $900. That's about 2 hours of your time on a Zoom. We do everything on Zoom. You live in New York, you got friends and family all over the US, you can help them. As an associate, 45%, you make $1,350. Marketing director, 62%, $1,860. Senior marketing director, 80%, $2,400. You start and you move up if you want to. Or if you don't want to move up, that's fine. You could continue what you're doing and do this part-time. Bring in an extra $1,000 per month, $2,000 per month, whatever you want to do. But you do need a license and you do want to help families, right? The average senior marketing director makes between $86,000 to $1 million. Guys, how many people we know would ever make $1 million at their job? Who would ever make $1 million at their job? And even if they do, it's a job, which means W-2, they'll get taxed the most, right? So guys, in closing, I'm going to challenge you to get in touch with the person that invited you to this webinar so that we can help you. As Brandy mentioned earlier, these are 3 of the books that I authored. Every one of them came from being part of this organization, learning about money and helping people with their money, right? So if I invited you, make sure you get in touch with me. Whoever invited you, get in touch with them and set up a one-on-one consultation, because we know you're going to have questions and everybody's situation is different. And with that being said, thank you so very much for your time. We do host webinars every week. Now, this coming Thursday, the whole part of building your wealth, we're going to have Thursday, April 20, 9 p.m., another webinar. Now this is about preserving the wealth. Because like I said, you could make it, but then when we're gone, we don't want all this money to be squandered away with our kids and grandkids. So how do we preserve it when we're no longer here? We're going to talk about this on Thursday. We're going to have an esteemed attorney, estate planning attorney. There's also going to be a Q&A section. But this is about really not just learning about this stuff, but putting it into practice and putting things in place, because at some point, we're all going to die. And when we die, everything that you've worked so hard for right now, because you guys are all working very hard right now, including myself. You don't want that to be squandered in a matter of months. Statistics show people who die and leave money just free willy, their heirs wipe it out in under 2 years. Under 2 years, they're broke. You leave a house to your kids, under 2 years, he's selling it or it goes by the wayside. You leave $1 million to your kid, under 2 years, it's gone. So it's not about just making it, but you want to make sure when you're gone, it's also preserved so they don't squander it in under 2 years. So make sure that you guys register for this webinar. It's going to be Thursday, 9 p.m. Come and learn about will and trust. At the very basic form, everybody needs at least a will. Very basic. You may say, Odetta, I don't have anything today. Well, guess what? You don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know what next week holds, or next month, or next year. Get a will in place at the very basic minimum, and we can help you guys with that as well. So I'm going to turn it back over to Brandy to close us out. And like I always say, get in touch with the person who invited you so we can set up a one-on-one and help you with your specific needs. And definitely try to register for this coming Thursday estate planning webinar as well. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you again, Odetta. Much appreciated. So here on campus at Kingsborough, this invite was specifically for our single parents here on campus who might have questions regarding, I'm a single parent, I don't make that much. How can I afford a life insurance? How can I save money? So this is for you. So if you were invited by someone here at KCC, email us, let us know, fill out the Google document, and Odetta can help you. Odetta can help you manage your money, because this is Financial Literacy Month. So Odetta, again, we really, really appreciate this. This was good. Can I see some thumbs up in the chat if this was informative, if you had if you learned something? Compound interest. That was new to some of you, right? So please, thank you, Virginia. That's the only clap I see. So, okay, Mia, thank you. So thank you. So I really appreciate who is this. Yeah, so this is new to some people, mainly if you're a student here on campus. You can start saving with minimum funds, $25, $50, and an IUL. So please fill out the Google document and let us know who referred you. So I hope to see a lot of names from Kingsborough. But if not, those who are on, please fill out the document and let us know who informed you. So again, thank you, Odetta. Really, really, really appreciate this. And I hope to see some of you on Thursday's webinar as well. Thank you. Okay.